Okay, so there's never a dull moment on this farm, obviously. Yeah, so today I have to start working on this Mack truck. I've got a few issues that need to be addressed. They're nothing spectacular, just they're annoying. So I'm gonna start with the engine side of it. Now, these Mack trucks are bulletproof pretty much, but they do have regular maintenance, and they do have some things that need to be done on occasion. And I did it on the Peterbilt or the Caterpillar motor. I did it on a Detroit. I've done it on two Caterpillars of Detroit. I've never done it on a Mack, but it's really not that hard of an issue to deal with. It's just one of those things that you have to do whether you like it or not, you know, one of those things. So what I've done is I've been soaking down the manifold studs. You see those studs back there? And that one in the back is leaking. Now I'm hoping, this one right back here, I'm going to try and get a wrench on it, or not a wrench, but a socket on that thing. I'm going to try and take it out of there. And if the stud backs out of the head, I might just be able to sneak the new gasket in. But I don't think I'm going to be able to do that. So actually, I know I'm not going to be able to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take these clamps off, take this off, that clamp up there. I gotta use my WD-40, you know, the WD-40. Everybody's going to tell me PB works better, but WD-40 actually has some lubrication properties that you don't get through PB Blaster. Someone told me one time it was made from fish oil, which I just can't imagine, but and that's why they use that smell that they put in there. But whatever. This turbocharger's got to come off, so I got to pull these off. I'm not going to pull the Donaldson air filter off, but I'm going to pull the tube off of here and that up there, pull that out of the way. And then I'm going to drop this exhaust pipe. I got to move the exhaust pipe. I'm hoping I don't have to go too far with it. There is some flexible pipe in there, so I should be able to actually pry that out of the way. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to pull that manifold off of there. The problem is the injectors come off the cam here, and they go to the head, up into the head, and that's going to be a bit of a nightmare, I think. I don't know if it's going to be a nightmare or not, but it isn't going to be the easiest thing in the world. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pop those studs off. So if I get all this out of the way and get those studs out of there, I'm going to look. I sent Carl to go get me new manifold gaskets and studs. So I'm going to look and see what they are, and if they are there, then kudos to me. Okay, so I guess I'll talk about this. We got Mr. Tim all pissed off already, right? You all upset, Tim? Tim's mad because the bales of hay fell over on him. That's okay. We'll allow it. So anyways, what you're seeing me do here, if you're seeing me do it, is I'm pulling the injector lines off. Mack's got a pretty decent system for these injector lines, I think. If this was a Caterpillar, it would all be on the inside, but they run off that camshaft somehow. I've never been into one of these Mack engines before, but I've seen the inside of them, but I never had the opportunity to tear one apart. But anyhow, just pull these lines off of here so that you get the manifolds the heck off. There's two manifolds. It's a split manifold system. There's two heads on this machine, so it's 3 and 3. But it's weird how they have this manifold. Well, it's actually a 3-piece manifold. I'm wrong. I stand corrected in my own words. It's a 3-piece manifold, not a 2-piece manifold. So each section of manifold, which is really weird. I would have thought that it would have been 3 and 3, but it's not. It's 2, 2, and 2, which is fine. I don't know if these are oil actuated. I don't understand these things, but you'll see what we got when we get them. I've got this manifold just about off. The problem is it can't come off as long as there is a as long as there is a, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to fast forward through this. I was telling a little bit of a story, and my nephew came up, and this was actually 25 minutes long, and I just wanted to shrink it down so that it was manageable. So the story I was telling was about a young lady that I went to school with. Her name was Heather Slabinski. Her married name was Heather Schultz, but that's not the person that she was with. She was married and divorced, and I don't believe she ever changed her name back to Slabinski, and I do not believe that her and Brian ever were married. So a brief history of her. When I was in kindergarten, I remember when Heather came into the class, and she was just a skinny little blonde-haired girl, very nice, friendly, and she was that way throughout our grade school and high school careers. But when she was in high school, I believe it was high school, because, you know, the pretty girls and I just were never that close. You know, they always had their clique, and I was more of a dirty farm kid. But she was always friendly with me, and I do remember many conversations with her. And I actually know her father. I haven't spoken with him in many years now, but he was friends with my Uncle Jim. But anyhow, or still is friends with my Uncle Jim. So anyways, when we were in high school, I'm sure it was high school, she came down with, I'm going to say, leukemia. And she did a lot of suffering during that time, but she still was in school. She was very, very sick and very, very skinny and but she survived. She got married, divorced, and then met up again with a high school classmate by the name of Brian Oster. Now, Brian Oster and I were not really good friends, but we did have conversations, and I don't think he really liked me much because, again, I was the dirty farm kid and he was more of the preppy, as what we would say. But he was interesting, and I even remember the last night that we were together, all of us, and Brian Oster was driving a Volkswagen bus, and he left the lights on his car. It was Project Graduation 1991. Anyways, at the end of the video, I say a prayer for Heather, and I do sincerely mean say a prayer for Heather. She was a wonderful, wonderful person. Hey, Tim.
Hi.
So, after a lot of cursing, a lot of swearing, and a lot of other things, and cutting out a section of the video because I had a broken stud and had a really hard time with it, I did get it fixed. It's not entirely the way I would like it to be, but it's fixed enough for me. And I cut it out because I didn't want to hear everybody say I was a fucking jackass. So, there you go. That's just my point of we did get it fixed though, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
I'd say it could be better though, right? But it'll work. If it doesn't work, guess what?
Too bad.
Well, if it doesn't work, then I gotta pull the head off. But I did not use any Wonder products from, say, Napa. No JB Weld or PC7. I didn't do that. So you can't say, oh, JB welded it. But anyway, there's a lot of torching, a lot of cutting, a lot of torching and a lot of drilling and the grinding and tapping. But we did okay. In the end, I did get it threaded in there, believe it or not. I didn't get it as far as I'd like, but I got a few turns on it. Anyway, yeah, so that's got a flexi pipe on it. Yeah, so me and Tim are just going to put the finishing touches on this thing, and we're going to have to get it started. Probably going to need a little starting fluid to get her going because I killed the lines on the injectors, and that's always a bastard to get them started. So it'll knock and ping and bang. It might fire right up, I don't know. I don't know where the return line is. But this is actually a pretty decent injection system. I always felt the Mack ran quieter and smoother than any other truck that I ran of this generation anyway. It certainly ran a hell of a lot better than that Caterpillar, quieter than the Cat. And actually Carl, he runs that C12 that's in his, that Cat, that's a That's a noisy engine. Oh, come on already. That's a noisy engine. But I really kind of got to get myself back in this truck because I got bills to pay just like everybody else. I'm not independently wealthy from YouTube. As a matter of fact, I'm not going to tell you how much I make, but I've been shadow banned. If you know what shadow banning is.
What is that?
Shadow banning is when they slowly hide your channel so that they put you out in the shadows. So it's harder and harder. It doesn't matter how many tags you put up there. There's an algorithm, and they started shadow banning me, I figure probably a year and a half ago. Yeah, about a year and a half ago. Once I hit 100,000 subscribers, I really jumped in subscription and was doing really well. But now for the last month and a half, well, no, 2.5 months, my view count will go to 138,998, and then I'll lose 1,000 subscribers. And then it'll be 137,000. And then it'll go 138,098, and bam, back down to 138,000. And it's done that over and over and over. It's done it 4 times now. So technically I should be in that 45,000 range or so. But what are you going to do? Where's that gasket I need for that thing? What'd you do with it? Okay. Put that bitch back on there. Yep. I did not get a new one for that, so fuck it. I'm going to need that turbonium.
Turbonium?
The turbonium.
A jet engine.
Yeah. That's quite a turbo, actually. Yeah, so being shadow banned is kind of shitty. But I do have to earn a living, just like everybody else. I do have to pay my bills, and the struggles that me and Tim and everyone here on the farm go through are probably no different than anybody else in the country. It's just, we just suffered through a rainstorm today, right?
And we're still getting another one tonight.
Another one tonight?
Mm-hmm.
Do that. We're getting another one tonight?
Let me look.
Huh?
Let me look.
Did you find that nut? You did.
Okay,
so a half a day project or a couple hour project turned into a pretty much an all damn day project. But we got it done. We did get it done. I guess I'm just gonna, I gotta clean up these tools and stuff, and then we're gonna fire it up. So okay, I don't know what you're gonna see, but give her a shot. Yep. a job well done. What did you say, Tim?
Yep.
Alright, I got a bag of John Deere stuff in here. Box of John Deere stuff. Inside, outside filters and shit. For the...
Got your iPad.
Oh, where'd you find that?
In the truck.
Cool. Anyway, my battery's about done. I'm going to call this a day. Thanks for watching. Please comment, rate, and subscribe. And, yeah, say a prayer for Heather Schultz for me. Thank you. She has passed away.